Hey, it's Nerdist Podcast number 347. A lot of stand-up coming up. Come on out. Come on out. The new hour's getting tighter. And Leon's getting larger. I will be performing May 2nd, 3rd, and 4th at Comedy Works in Denver. That's downtown in Larimer Square. Then the 9th, 10th, and 11th, Helium in Portland. 15th and 16th of May, I will be in London at the Leicester Square Theater. Then the 24th in Baltimore, 25th in D.C., and then in June, 6th, 7th, and 8th, I'm at a place called Wise Guys West Valley in West Valley City, Utah. Wait, it's either Wise Guys West in Valley City, Utah, or Wise Guys West Valley City, Utah. Why didn't they put commas when they sent this information to me? Well, you live in Utah. If you know what Wise Guys is, you probably know where it is. And now hold while Twitter tells me exactly what it is. Hey, this episode of the Nerdist Podcast is brought to you by Stamps.com. Run your office or business or personal life from your home computer or your laptop. You don't even have to. It doesn't even have to be at your home. Just anywhere you have your computer and a printer, you can get Stamps.com print out exactly the postage you need, whenever you want, and then just slap it on there, and then the mail carrier will come and pick it up from you. And then don't leave your house. Well, leave your house sometimes. You should go out and meet people. Find a significant other, then come home, and then you both can not have to leave the house, and then they can send stuff too via Stamps.com using the promo code NERDIST to get a no-risk trial and a $110 bonus offer, including a digital scale and up to $55 of free postage. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click on the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in NERDIST. Stamps.com, promo code NERDIST. Mr. Rob Zombie, back on the podcast. Rob has not been on since episode 15 of the Nerdist Podcast, and we've been friends a really long time, since 1995. I think we met at the Video Music Awards that year when I actually did commentary stuff. I was on the VMAs that year. Oh my God, the 1900s. Let's see, who was on that year? It was Rob, and I think the band Live, and Hole, and REM, and Dennis Miller hosted, and he was kind of a dick. He was not that nice to me. But I digress. This is all about Rob, and this episode sees Rob's return to the Nerdist Podcast. Lords of Salem, his new movie, opens April 26th, so go see it, and then enjoy this reuniting. I hadn't seen Rob in like 2 years, which sucks, because when all of a sudden time just goes by, and then you keep running into your friends in weird places, and you go, hey, it's nice to see you. Now I feel this weird guilt that I didn't try to see you sooner, because I'm a piece of shit. We actually ran into each other in Austin, Texas, and I hadn't seen him in ages. So I was able to get him back on the podcast, and here it is, episode number 347 with Rob Zombie. I don't know why I said it like that. He's not really that kind of a guy. I could have just said it like this. Rob Zombie. That's nice.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
Okay, we are recording.
Great.
Robert W.
Headphones?
Zombie. No, the headphones don't work.
Oh.
Sorry.
After all that.
All
Professional
that
show
stuff.
business.
You'll just have to use your ears and the
That's how you
air.
record your albums, right? You just do it, no hands, no hands. You just use your-
Andy Gould.
What?
Hey, man.
Yeah, they all get together and he just goes 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then everyone just starts playing.
We hope we all stop at the same time.
Yeah. It just sounds like a Fear song.
How's it going? Good. Oh, man. I miss you guys so much.
Guys, which
You
Yeah,
and you.
just-
No.
you
Huh?
and me?
No, I don't miss
Me
you
and-
guys.
Yeah, I
Oh.
was gonna say.
I miss
He-
Rob and Sherry.
Oh,
Oh,
but
that's
he's-
nice than her. She's not here.
yeah.
I know.
You can continue to miss her. Yeah.
I do. So I miss half of you.
All right, thank
because
you.
you're in front of me. But you move to the East Coast, and then it just sucks. You have friends that you want to hang out with, and then a year goes by, and you're like, I haven't seen my friends in like.
I know. Now that we moved, our dinners have gone from 1 year apart to 2 years apart. It's getting really awkward.
It really.
I think I actually see you more now that I don't live here, though.
Well, it's funny that I haven't seen you in ages, and then I ran into you at South by Southwest just because I happened to be out in front of the hotel, and you just walked
And the funniest
by.
part about it is I wasn't really looking at you. I didn't see you. I just and I was like, "Oh God!" Like, like that look of like, "Who's this guy coming to hand me a demo tape?" so I didn't really look up till the last second. I was like, "Oh, it's Chris." Okay,
With the demo tape.
yeah, great. It's another hard and firm demo tape.
We're taking it in a new direction.
You just mastered your album shittier.
Yeah.
What scientific process is this song
Hi,
about?
part 2,
What is
instrumental version.
Hey, those digits don't end, Rob.
this? And I'm sure because I was probably flailing my arms wildly, like, "Hey, hey!" Because I was shocked that I was just
Well, I found it funny because I said, "Are you going down the South by Southwest?" And you said no.
didn't think I was
And
going.
then ran into you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like you're shocked. You're shocked.
That is interesting, Chris.
Shocked to run into Rob at a music and movie festival.
Yeah. Or as other people call it, Rob Fest.
Yeah, I'd never been there before, which is funny.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
Not even back when you're in the band started?
never. I had never been to anything. I avoided all music festivals,
Well, you did Ozfest.
film festivals. Well, they pay you to do that one.
Yeah.
That's the play. But I mean, like just those ones where you go
Like
to you're
CMJ or any of those things?
Never went to any of them, and people was like, "You must have been down here a million times." I was like, "Nope."
Nope. But you were just there. You were there for the screening of the movie.
Yeah.
You didn't actually play.
No, I didn't do anything. I didn't have to work.
Oh, that's good. And we had a nice dinner. We had some Thai
We
food.
had some laughs.
It was nice. Well, your episode. It's been like almost 3 years since you were on the podcast.
I know.
Holy shit.
Isn't that fucking crazy? He was on one of the first, within the first cluster of episodes.
So it was like on a Saturday, right?
Yeah, it was a Saturday.
And
And we
one
were
of
in
these
a
conferences.
conference
It was like
room.
fucking crazy
3E.
hot.
It
Yeah,
was in 3E.
Back before
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman was on Chris's speed dial.
Hello,
Never
Chris.
thought it would happen to me.
I can't believe Chris Hardwick is calling me
Can
again.
you just read my text messages back to me, Morgan?
God, that sounds good.
Chloe says, "No, I love you more."
I'm not sure if that's Morgan Freeman or Cleveland, from the Cleveland show.
Cleveland. Cleveland's a little more staccato.
Yeah.
Cleveland. Cleveland. He walked through 7 miles of hills.
Now this is like an old 20s singer.
Yep. So you were on in 2010, and then I've seen you maybe like twice in those 3 years. How is living in Connecticut now?
It's good. When did you come out there and stay? It was like 2 years ago,
At least
3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird back then. I mean, when I first moved there, it made me nuts because I was like coming from, I went from Manhattan to L.A. to go live out in the woods.
He says it with such disdain.
No, I felt like I was losing my mind, but now I've locked into the groove. So now when I come here, I kind of feel that way. It's weird.
Well, you've also built this kind of compound that you would never have to leave.
Yeah. No, that was kind of the goal, to build everything's there. So when we built a theater that's better than the theater that's in the town, I'm like, why go to the movies? Why ever get dressed? Why ever do anything anymore?
It's really cool. It's like this 18th century farmhouse. And then there are just different little building structures, and he turned what was basically a barn into like a theater, and is there like an editing suite in there?
There was
too?
an editing suite, but I took it out when we were finished editing. Then I added another building on the back of that's got other stuff. I had this idea because we have that whole big field is ours. And I thought, like, you can buy those life-size dinosaur statues. I was like, you could make a dinosaur park.
That would be great.
Oh my god!
Like literally, because I have all the land, and I checked, and you can get like full-size fiberglass brontosaurus or whatever, and just put them out there. But let them kind of rot like they always were when you went to those things.
course.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Dilapidated caveman with holding the big rock.
Well,
or
there's
something.
so much foliage out there
Yeah.
that the grass, like the weeds, everything would overtake it pretty
so
quickly.
I'm still toying with the idea.
Would your neighbors be cool with that?
Probably not.
It'd be like life after people before people.
With the dinosaurs.
Yes,
Well played.
But no, because they have like a historical society where, like, if you they have to okay the color of your house. So I don't know if they'd go like,
Oh, wow.
but
You guys can pick the color of the
Brontosauruses in the
dinosaurs.
field, that's cool.
What's more historical than dinosaurs?
Yeah, come on, guys.
Well, yeah, because there's a
Pick the color of the dinosaurs. I don't give a shit.
because the cemetery that's not too far from your place is like really old. There's really old.
Yeah, everything there is really old. It's one of those towns where whenever something comes in, they won't let it be modern. Like even the subway looks not like Subway sandwich shop looks like an old building.
Oh
They
wow!
don't hang up any new signage.
And they serve mutton. Like there's nothing. Nothing's
Exactly.
updated.
Lake Tahoe's like that too. It's like if any chain there looks like an old craftsman, Lake Tahoe house or a cabin or something like that.
That's kind of cool,
McDonald's
actually.
and
It sort of
stuff.
keeps the communities from getting, franchised.
Well, it seems like weird at first, but then you go, yeah, I guess then if suddenly it was like this quaint town and then it's just like strip malls, you'd be like,
That's how towns get sort of ruined, where it's like, oh, okay, now you've built the honeycomb that has the Walmart in it and the Applebee's and the then the McDonald's and the Starbucks and it just sort of keeps it.
It's like no more. It's like what they call them, private public spaces, where it seems like it's an open public space, but it's privately owned, so you really can't get there after dark or anything like that. It's not like a real town.
And so you went crazy there for a little bit, but now you settled in.
well, it took a minute because you just you feel. But I don't know. It's the perfect balance now. Without being all serious, because I can come here, do all the crazy stuff, go anywhere, go home. It's super mellow, and then go back.
Yeah.
Here, I feel like I can't ever get away from it because sometimes just driving your car someplace is too intense for me now.
Do you know any of your neighbors?
No. But why should I start now?
Nor will he.
Yeah. After the dinosaurs, you'll not know anybody.
But then dinosaurs basically attracts a whole new thing where everyone's like, let's go play on the dinosaur.
Yeah.
And you're like,
my kids play on your dinosaurs.
Dinosaur park.
That's how they talk.
My kids can play on your dinosaur.
no, I know it looks like you can come play in the dinosaur park, but you
it's
cannot
all
come
mine.
play in the dinosaur park.
This is not a public dinosaur park. Privately owned dinosaur park.
You just put a fence around. There's just kids always waiting.
Crying.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like it's always just says like about to open, and you're just like, oh, so close. Go, guys.
That's Rob's.
Under construction. Yeah. It must be this high to enter.
Yeah,
Just make
it's
it
just
really
really-
low.
And then till that one day where a guy shows up.
And
Let
you
me
can
in.
fit.
That's Rob's new YouTube show is reactions of people who can't go into the
Why is
dinosaur
only Vern
park.
Troyer out there on the dinosaur?
Sliding down the back of the brontosaurus. Shit, he'll have so much fun.
When we started the YouTube channel, we were talking about doing a show, and Rob did a little video with a Tom
That
Baker doll.
confused everybody.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
Because he's a classic you're a classic Doctor Who fan, and so
Classic.
you have the as opposed to the reboot, as opposed to the reboot, but he had this Tom Baker doll, and he was like, "Hello, I'm Tom Baker, and I'm doing."
Like purposely knowing it's the world's worst Tom Baker impersonation, and everyone's like, "So, when's your Tom Baker show coming on?" That's when I realized that people have ceased to be able to.
That could
get
be a
the
YouTube show,
information.
though. Just you holding a Tom Baker doll in your backyard,
That's a
going,
show.
"Let's talk about the news."
Anything
That's a
could
show.
be a YouTube show.
It really could.
It's like that thing on Seinfeld when he's pitching the show. He's like, "What'd you do today? Had breakfast." That's a show.
That's a show. Yeah. See? This could be the show.
That's a show.
So I assume you're still working as nonstop as ever.
Yeah. I guess.
You were always sort of you were always one of my work role models, but you never explained to me the emotional strain sometimes.
I didn't explain to you the part about being burnt out and wanting to break stuff all the time because I didn't explain to you the part where everything that you really love becomes everything that you really hate in life eventually.
Oh no, please.
I've ruined everything that used to bring me joy.
It's amazing though, because but then also the kind of lesson from that I'm trying to learn, and also the lesson from you too, is that you probably do the same thing that I do, where you go, oh yeah, I could. Yeah, so if I go to this screening, then the next morning I could be here and then do a show, and then like the calendar, everything fits in the calendar, but then you're doing it and you're like, why did I think this was a good idea?
Yeah, like clearly there's a 15-minute window from doing the Nerdist podcast to getting to LAX. No problem.
It'll work itself
Chris,
out.
you're not really
I
supposed
don't
to
see why it's an issue.
The blocks shouldn't touch each other.
Oh, they should what?
Unless-
They shouldn't like
unless they're
overlap.
in the same building.
No. My iCal just looks like a fucking Tetris map. Like it's
Yeah.
just like everything.
No, like today, I was like, well, I think I could do 2 days of press in one. So I just did like 40 interviews before coming here. I've been doing interviews.
What's your
since
favorite
7 a.m.
question? What's your
Yeah.
favorite question?
What scares you?
No, but what is it though?
No, really. I was thinking
That's so weird. But what?
No, I know other people. It's queer when they ask you, but seriously, what is it?
Rob, what is it? What is it?
What makes you laugh, Chris?
What are you?
Where do
you
ideas
find
come
funny?
from?
Where do I?
Where do you get those ideas?
Do you consider yourself a nerd?
Oh my god!
I read the funniest thing about you. I thought that this was a crack up. And I was like, oh, Chris has entered that realm where this starts, but maybe it's been like that for a while. It was something on like Hollywood Deadline about I don't remember what it was. Something with Nerdist.
Yeah.
And one of the comments was like, Chris Hardwick, total nerd poser. This guy's totally tried to steal the nerd culture. He's clearly not into any of this shit. I was like, nailed it.
Oh my god,
It's so funny.
Of course. Well, I avoid basically. Yeah, I get that all the time. If I were to go to comment threads, which I've
Well,
sworn
that's why I
off.
thought it was good that I read it.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate that. It's
I read the comments. Ooh, Chris, do not go there.
that comment.
New YouTube show. Rob reads your comments.
That's great. Yeah, that one in particular is really fun because I always feel like I couldn't fake it every minute of the day of pretending to like stuff. I don't have the fucking energy. I barely have energy to follow up with the things that I like. I could never. Because the truth of the matter is, there is way more money if I wanted to be like a sports guy.
Well,
There's
that's the thing,
way more money.
It's
in
quite a plan that you've put into place, dating way back to Singled Out, where you thought, I'm going to wear this Devo helmet because 20 years from now, it's going to give me nerd cred.
You're like
Well
that guy
played,
that wants to-
Hardwick.
You're like the guy that wants to be president, so he always poses with black guys.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
See,
yeah.
we're friends all the time.
No problem.
It's so interesting though. But you're just never gonna be, you're just never gonna be everything to everyone. And it's sort of like, I guess, maybe it's good for people to be wary of authenticity now because, nerd culture is such a buzzword now, and I totally get it. I understand why they attack me. I mean, but my response is always, because I get asked that at panels. They're like, are you really into this stuff? And I'm like, dude, I can't fake like stuff. There's more money in Kardashian culture than there is.
You
No,
fake
I
like
know.
us.
Yeah,
You do
true.
a pretty good job of that.
No, guys, I really care
That's
about
true.
you.
Yeah.
I saw the
Right.
racks of wardrobe. These guys picked out some pretty authentic nerdwear today. Nobody in real life would wear this shit. Look at this guy.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
People don't know
I look
this.
like a real piece of shit. Every once in a while, I just want to have a beer and watch a game.
There's actually been 4 Jonas and 3 Matts since the podcast. And they're just rotating.
You know, when I took on the role of
cast
schlubby
better
idiot,
But the one challenge is that sometimes they must expect the same thing from you with horror or music or whatever, is expecting that you've seen literally everything or know literally everything, and it's like I'm cramming it in as fast as I
Now
can.
I
but-
sort of take pleasure in disappointing people. When they go, what do you think about the state of horror? And I go, I don't know. I haven't watched a new horror movie in 15 years.
And they're like,
really?
"What?"
And they think I'm kidding. I go, no, I'm serious.
and you just don't.
And then you just feel the room go dead.
yeah,
All right. Well, I don't think we have any more questions.
yeah. It's like because I talk about zombie movies so much on this podcast. People are like, "Ooh, what about this?" I haven't seen all of them. I just really like the ones that I like. It's like you can't watch everything.
Oh, you don't like zombie movies? And I
Yeah.
do. I just haven't seen
Did you
every
see-
one of them. Please.
You see the next George Romero one? Yeah, probably not. I'll probably hear about it, see a trailer, and then just rewatch Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. I'll read the press release.
What are you watching now? Like, what are you watching now in general?
We were always behind the curve on stuff. We just plowed through all the seasons of Girls.
Yeah.
this weekend.
it's a good
which is
show.
good. Whenever something's really popular and everyone's winning awards, I've got this new philosophy. I think I told you. I refuse to watch anything until it's won a Golden Globe.
That's it.
So until she got her Golden Globe,
Yeah.
I'm in.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob's consumption is dictated by the Hollywood Foreign Press
Yeah,
Association.
exactly.
And
See
I'd
what the
like to
Hollywood
thank
Foreign
them.
Press has to say
It
about
took
this.
me 4 or 5 years. Was like Breaking Bad. I'll give it a shot.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
You know, I don't know. Thinking of looking at that show MASH.
Yeah, MASH, not bad.
Last episode rated okay.
Newhart show. I heard it's okay.
Listen, there might be another Korean War. It's timely again.
Think about checking out this Johnny Carson. I don't.
Carson Daly?
Yes, that's probably
Yeah,
it.
Johnny
Yeah,
Carson Daly.
Johnny Carson Daly.
Carcinio.
Oh,
Remember
the Carcinio
Carcinio?
sketch. That was Kevin Bacon, right?
Playing Carcinio?
No, it was no. I'm sorry. Kevin Bacon did an
played
Arsenio
Vanilla Ice. No, Kevin Bacon played Vanilla Ice in the Carcinio sketch.
in the Carcinio
Dana
sketch.
Carvey
Dana
played
Carvey played
Carcinio.
Carcinio. Yes.
Yeah. Woof, woof.
So you've done this. You've taken on this task of releasing a movie and an album at the same time.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
Why did you want to do that? Because it used to be, I used to think your schedule was pretty cool because your years were pretty laid out. You would write and direct a movie, then record an album, then do a tour, and then kind of start the process over again.
I mean, yeah, that seemed like a good plan, and it kind of worked it worked better for movies, I felt like, but it was making me without, seriously, it was like a momentum killer, because I'd disappear for 2 years, do a movie, and come back to the music and feel like, I literally would sometimes feel like, what did I used to do?
Yeah.
On stage, what I haven't done. You
Did I hold the mic like this?
Really, you would feel what was so second nature would become like awkward and weird.
Yeah,
and
forced.
then when I'd go off and do music for 2 years and come back to do a film, you'd feel like, this is weird. I mean, where would I place the cameras and things? Like, it just seemed like it was making me rusty, whatever I did. So this way, and that's why I actually started.
We need a bass player. No, Rob, this is a movie.
Yeah.
Why is it so quiet in here? But that's why I started doing TV commercials and stuff too, just so that, because directing is so few and far between that, just, you really feel like you get rusty. It's weird.
Well, not only that, but you put so much in film. I imagine you put so much into one project that it's sort of. I mean, I don't know. I feel like you're sort of outside the bubble a little bit, because you have your own audience and your movies sustain themselves. So it's not like you have to live or die by what a studio tells you can or can't do. You pretty much do whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much try to make it clear as I'm entering into any project. But I think it's pretty obvious after the first meeting with me that, when there isn't a second meeting, I think it was pretty clear in the first meeting that, like, this guy's going to be too much trouble.
You think so? Do you go in being purposely a little more difficult, because do you think, like, when you meet with them, because you think, well, if they still want to work with me after this,
Well,
then
I
it's
just try to be honest, because truthfully, a film it's such a long haul with so many hours that unless you're really invested in it, I don't know how you would sustain it, because the hours just on set, and then the editing and the I mean, if it ever became something like, I'm not into this, I don't know how you'd ever get to the end of it. You really have to care that much. And if you're doing like, well, that guy thought casting that person would be a good idea, who I hate, I don't know how I'd ever get through the process, because it would just. And I know people that have done that, and they just seem miserable. And then you get that sort of work for hire mentality. You can tell they don't really give a shit.
Rob
anymore.
Zombie's a film poser.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, so.
It's my favorite site, Film Poser.
It's just it's. I mean, I remember the day that you called and said, "I think I'm going to get to direct a movie. Do you want to be in it?"
And you would, Chris, I think I'm going to direct a movie. Do you know anyone who would want to be in it? And all you heard was, Chris, will you be in it? And it was just too awkward.
Yeah.
And then I just really tell you what I called about.
He showed up on the day and you had to tell Matthew Perry to go home.
Actually,
But I don't know if you remember this story. It's true. When we were like, I was in the production office and we were putting the movie together, and they literally go, what's up with this Chris Hardwick? He's being really difficult. And I go, what? No, it's all good. He's like, no, his agent's this and that. And this kept going. He's out. He's not doing it. And they showed me your headshot, and it was a different guy who they had been trying to close the deal with. And I literally was like, who the fuck is that guy? And they're like, oh, this isn't the guy. No, that's not him.
a young Charlie Day almost was cast.
Yeah. But it was really funny that just.
Well, that's because you called. I remember you calling me and going, your agents are being really weird, and I was like, they are?
It's really funny.
Why? I haven't worked in like a year. Why would they be difficult at this point? But I remember that you called, and when we were first talking about the movie, and you said, I'm doing this movie. There's this part in it. The guy's a total douchebag asshole. You're perfect for it.
Did I say that?
Yeah. I was like, thank you.
Thanks, I guess.
But it's funny that people still to this day, when we do shows, or if I'm at like at Comic-Cons or whatever, people come up to me and they go, Dr. Satan!
That really has become a thing, yeah. It's so funny. I mean, it's funny how, like, when I'm just now, this is fresh in my mind from doing interviews, but they'll go, what do you think, what about what fans say, and what do critics say, and this and that? And I go, it doesn't matter anymore, because that was the most hated movie. I remember when that came out. I was like, oh, I hate that movie. House of a Thousand Corpses, worst movie ever made.
Well, there was so much, it like took 2 or 3 years to come out, and it was a mess.
But now everyone acts like it's this beloved experience that, oh, of course we all agree, we love it. And I'm like, we do? It just goes to show everybody just likes stuff when it's old.
I get the same thing. I get the same thing. I get the same thing with Singled Out, where people at the time, I remember, everyone was saying like it's ruined MTV, and this is the downfall of our culture.
Videos.
And now it's the classic.
And now people are like, oh, I love that
Yeah.
show so much. I'm like, you did? Everyone
It's so
fucking
weird how
hated
it's
that
like
show
that,
when it was
yeah.
on.
So
I guess it's sort of like, you know what? It's kind of like something happens, and I don't know what the part of the psyche is, but it's like when you're in a relationship and the relationship is really toxic and you get out of the relationship and a year later, you kind of look back and you're like, oh, was it really so bad? You know, like there's something about it where the shitty stuff falls away and you sort of remember, like, oh, that had some really nice moment. You get kind of wistful and nostalgic about it.
Yeah, it's where I think sometimes, too, the expectations of what everyone thinks something's going to be are never met because, like, it's got to be this. And then once that's gone and a new generation can just accept it as, like, you know, now it's an old movie to some kid if he's 16. He was 6 when it came out.
Right.
So it's just like, oh, well, that exists. That's always been there as far as, like, you know, I didn't go see an old movie and go, here's my thoughts on what really should have went down to the Treasure of the Sierra Madre. You just accept that that's what it is.
They should have needed stinking badges.
Fuck you, Houston.
And it's like, you just accept it. That's what it is. And I think that's kind of what it is now. It is what it is, and people just accept it. And whereas, you know.
But, well, especially now, people are just so ready to hate anything that's put in front of them. Like, what the fuck is that? I mean, maybe it's not everyone. It's just those are definitely the loudest people. The, you know, you're a nerd poser, or fuck you, you're doing movies, or whatever it is. Or, you know, I mean, like, people are just so ready to, I mean, so much of the culture is just like fucking attack dogs that are just waiting, like, I fucking dare you to put something in front of me.
The best is sometimes I remember there's so much of that. Well, I don't read anything anymore, but like back when I did, and people would like badmouth everything, and then even within their badmouthing, admit that they hadn't actually seen it yet or read it yet.
Oh, that's such a.
I heard that. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so now we're on a hateful rant based on secondhand knowledge of your friend's buddy said something.
Yeah, but I'm sure that's what it is.
It was my friend's real good buddy, though. So
Yeah, it's real good.
They're real tight.
What have you? So in the 13 years since we made Corpses, what did you learn?
sounds funny. Since we made Corpses.
Yeah.
What have you learned? Like as a director, like what's your whole setup process like now as opposed to?
Well, I mean, I think that that you obviously learn stuff, but it's kind of hard to put into words sometimes. I think. I mean, with that movie, it felt like everything was like what, you know, because everything was the first time, and everything I thought that I could apply from other fields, like music videos, didn't really apply. But now nothing rattles me because it just seems like on set everything goes wrong every 5 seconds. Nothing ever works the way you thought it was going to, and you just go, okay, well, cool. Now we'll do this. Whereas before it's like it's the end of the world, you know. It's like, and I don't know. You just. I guess it's like anything. It's like doing anything. You just learn how to deal with it and move on and roll with it and make it work.
And then dealing with people or like sort of being a team leader. Like, what do you?
I guess you just get better at figuring out how. I mean, it is always. I don't know. I mean, it's really hard to say. I mean, you learn the technical stuff more, so you know that stuff. But that's like whatever. I guess you just.
Are you good at delegating yet, or do you still have to do everything yourself?
I like to delegate stuff, but you just have to find somebody that you feel is up to the standards of what you want. But at the same time, you can't delegate expecting someone to be able to read your mind.
Right.
So I feel like when I find somebody really good, I can delegate to the point where they'll get it in the ballpark of what I want, and then I'll have to get it exactly because I can't. Like I said, they can't read your mind. But what was I going to say? I forget.
Well,
I was going to make a point there.
Well, you know, we've had this conversation. We had this conversation many times where, you know, I know over the years you got tons of offers to just stick your name on stuff and be like Rob Zombie's, you know, whatever movie, like stuff that or the TV series or stuff that you had nothing to do with, and you always said you didn't want to do it if you couldn't actually be directly
I'm glad
involved
I never
in it.
did that because now I realize more than ever that people think like, oh, if it just says Rob Zombie Presents, they'll understand you didn't direct it, and I feel like no one understands that,
right?
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing I've realized from the internet is no one understands anything. Because I realized that like
Most people are dumb.
you go to Facebook and I post Lords of Salem coming out April 19th, and every comment says, when is this movie coming out?
Yeah.
Well, I think the problem is
The only thing I posted was the release.
Yeah.
Fine,
Lords of
April
Salem.
19th.
Yeah, that reminds me. When is this coming out?
I'll tell you what I think. I'll tell you what I think that is. I think it's people being so overwhelmed by having their attention pulled in so many different directions that people just don't ever fully read. Like people are conditioned to just look at things in the quickest bite-sized way, and they see a quick thing, but they don't actually take the time to read
It's
it.
like a snapshot of everything.
Yeah.
Well, I
They
get all
never
my
digest
news from Huffington Post headlines. So
Just the headlines. Yeah,
Just the
yeah.
headlines.
Yeah, I get a lot of my news from the Google News page.
I get most of my news from you explaining that.
Yeah.
Headlines to me because I can't be bothered. With
Well,
the
Rob,
headline.
here's the deal. Amanda Bynes
Something in
wants
Libya
Drake to
happened.
murder
I'm good.
something.
Libya.
Yeah.
North Korea's doing stuff.
Her
Everybody's
vagina. She wanted
wrong. I
Drake to
just
murder
read the
her
real big
vagina.
one at the top. We really blew it this time. And then a picture of Obama with his hand in his head.
Right, exactly.
Did you record an album yet, or are you doing that now?
No, it's done. It comes out the same week as the movie.
Jesus Christ.
That's some
Goddamn
synergy.
cross-promotional
Really stacking them odds.
machine.
Yeah, that's my way. Because what I did in the barn, I moved in the editing room. We cut the movie. As soon as we finished cutting the movie, pulled out all the editing stuff and moved in all the recording equipment and just started immediately on the record.
Oh, shit.
So it kind of went like that.
Does everybody fly out, like the band?
Yeah, because we have a guest house, so everyone was just living there as we recorded.
Nice.
It's good.
I've stayed in that guest house. It's nice.
We actually expanded it, so you got to come back. It's much
Oh, I
nicer.
will.
We put in the Chris Hardwick wing.
Oh, finally.
Yes, it's
real
filled
small.
with nerdy items, so you can pretend to enjoy them.
I don't really like those things, Rob. I need plenty of hockey games and champagne.
It's all like Star Trek VHS boxes, but inside, just porno. Porno and sports highlight bloopers.
But, yes,
The highlights of the bloopers.
sports bloopers. Sports bloopers.
Porno bloopers.
Yeah. Porn bloopers.
Is that the ultimate in? I don't know.
There is a website with I'm hesitant to give it out, but there's a website with porn bloopers on it, and it's fucking hilarious
It's real
and
funny.
horrifying.
Why are you trying to like keep all this stuff to you? Why can't we all know about it?
Because there's some really disturbing shit,
That's how much you love comedy. You only jerk off to porn bloopers.
and it's more. I'm more on the side of the comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It came in her eye.
And it slipped and fell in the hot tub. He's hurt.
Gruesome dick injuries.
Something snapped.
Yeah.
The worst one I saw would look like an amateur. It was an amateur video. This is gonna bring the room down in a second.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's a guy in a van, and he's picked up a prostitute, and she's blowing him, and she tells him not to come in her mouth, and he does. So then she starts to dry heave and almost throw up, and in the process of that, she shits the floor.
Oh, God.
And so she goes,
And then a blooper happened.
That's the section
There's
of the
the joke.
blooper.
And then he swerved into the other lane.
and then he gets the line.
Everyone dies.
And then that outfielder
Yeah.
runs through the wall. It was a sports.
Yeah.
But it's just
comes off.
the audio clip that I still play in my head that cracks me and Chloe up forever if I just call her. And if one of us says, "You just made me shit myself," the other one will go, "Oh, hell no."
Which is the only response, I think.
I don't know what you're supposed to say to that. Oh, you're welcome.
You just made me shit myself. I know. Yeah.
So are you are you
Disgusting. Pull it up right now. If any of these monitors were real, we could load more.
Yeah. These are just fake nerd monitors
Fake
we
nerd
keep in here to
monitors.
make it seem like we're always surfing that
nerdy?
net.
Yeah, I like these gadgets. I don't know what they're called.
We're just always
Gadgets,
surfing that World Wide Web,
the
checking out
World
what's
Wide
on
Web.
Prodigy.
Yep. www.
Check out these Angel Fire sites.
I've never seen an episode of Doctor Who. I hear
Yeah.
it's really good. I don't have any video game platforms.
For the first year of Walking Dead being out, you kept on calling it Walking Fred.
I was calling it Walking Fred. I thought it was about a guy named I thought it was
It was Fred Stoller's
If there's
story.
one thing you're going to be a poser at, would you choose nerd?
no. No.
I mean,
no. I mean, it's
super cool secret agent, perhaps.
in the
I'm going to
past-
be a nerd.
in the past few years the culture has elevated, but it wasn't always that way, and it wasn't,
It wasn't a good thing to be at one point.
certainly not when I was
striving for it.
certainly
But
not
they
when
weren't
I was
handing out
growing up.
TV shows to nerds like they
Yeah,
were.
this one
Right.
over here.
Jeez.
Fuck
Shows us
yeah.
guys.
Ride that wave, Chris.
Yeah, man.
Ride that wave.
Just gotta wait and see what's next. If it's badminton, we're fucking starting the badmintonist podcast.
Badminton.
That's just
I'll jump on any train.
that's just like ironic hipster culture. Is just guys trying to guess what weird thing is going to become cool.
Yeah.
It's like oh, I guess I'm into badminton now. It's my thing.
I mean, I look
Come
at
on,
I look,
badminton.
well, I look at guys like Bill. I can look at guys like Bill Simmons, and you go, okay, if you were really trying to capitalize on a culture, that's the fucking one to go for. It's either fashion or sports because those are huge, huge. There's way more room.
Yeah, but Bill genuinely likes sports. It's
He
not like-
does. He does, but I'm saying if
believe
you're going to be a poser about something like sports,
Fucking religion. They make a lot of money doing that. Being
Make a lot of money
opposed to
doing
that.
religion?
Yeah.
I always think about that. If you started a cult, how much money could you make?
I mean,
So much.
I mean, cults have the benefit of money and pussies and
All the pussies.
every cult pussy.
All the pussy.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
FBI raids, it's all.
Kristen Rutherford was telling me about this cult in New York in the 70s or 80s that like they basically had several floors of a building, and it was this insane sex cult where everyone had to have sex with a different person every night, and this leader would tell people like, you should have sex with that person, and you like it was just some.
I think that's just a well-organized orgy.
Describe the Vatican.
That's just a very well-organized, thought-out orgy.
over years.
Yeah, you just put some guy in charge, and just never stops.
Prada shoes.
Are you going to? I'm just getting. I'm going to jump back. I'm going to get off this topic and jump back to movies. I know.
We go stop talking about fucking.
Do you worry sometimes? Do you worry sometimes that you've like I've painted myself into this horror corner, and now people always expect that?
No, I don't worry about it. I mean, I think this Lords of Salem will be the last movie I make that's considered a horror movie.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I have several things lined up, and none of them are even remotely in that world because I think that, that I did that. That I've gone as far with that as I want to go. So I want to do the opposite.
What do you think? What are you looking at
Well,
next?
I mean, this is funny. You can pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about if you want on this one, Chris. But the next movie I'm doing is a true life sports movie about the Philadelphia Flyers. And-
Actually, I don't know if I knew that.
yeah. Look and pretend like he doesn't know about sports.
So
Like, ask him what the Flyers are.
I know they're a.
I know they're an
hockey
organized
team.
athletic organization.
No, I know they're. I do know. I know that Slapshot's like one of your favorite movies, right?
Yeah, it's a great movie, and that's sort of like the comedy version of the real story. But I mean, this is something that came to me a couple of years ago, and I just finished the script, but I've been researching it for about a year because it's it's a true story. But what I like about it is it has a lot of the elements of things I love, and it's a sports movie that you could watch and love even if you hate sports. Because it's like Rocky almost, where like you could hate boxing but still love Rocky.
Sure.
What's the story?
Well, it's like in a nutshell, so I won't bore you guys. In this, there was only when Philadelphia was like a loser town, and they had only loser teams, and they had a. I didn't say that, but then they had this hockey team, and they were getting their asses kicked, and they decided one day, literally, like, we may not be the best, but we're gonna just hire the toughest players we can get, and they literally just went about hiring a team that was tough, and they just terrorized the league, and people were afraid to play them. Other players they had this thing called the Philly flu, where players would be like, I'm too sick to play in Philly. And if you watch the old footage, it's amazing. Where like, it's when they would have fights with every single player on the ice. And they would go up into the stands, literally half the team, and they'd be fighting with the crowd. Police would break up the ice. Police would come onto the ice. It was insanity. It's really like, the players, and you see them back in the 70s, they all look like porn stars, big mustaches, long hair, and crazy, and it's just a crazy story, and because of that, they won the championship twice. But it's just such a weird, wacky story that it reads like fiction. I mean, I don't really just tell it good, but
Did they change? When did they try to change the rules for hockey that you can't break out until?
well, yeah. I mean, because of these guys, they said the rule book went from like 2 pages to 200 pages. Like everything they were doing, you would be just thrown out, and you'd probably never play again if you're doing this stuff. But yeah, no, it all changed. But it was just they would be playing on the ice and blood's gushing down their faces. Their jerseys are covered in blood. I mean, it's just insanity.
And they weren't really wearing a ton of protective
They
gear
weren't
at the
wearing
time.
helmets or anything, and it was full on just chaos.
Did you see Goon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not. The movie's not like that because that's more like. I mean, that was a true story, but they played it, I think, more for laughs. But there's funny things because it's so absurd how incredibly violent it was. I mean, and it's all on YouTube. You can look at it where like some guy would just whack the other guy in the face with a hockey stick, knock him like they're just crazy.
Jesus.
I mean, they'd never do it now. They'd all be in jail, and sometimes they did get arrested,
That's awesome.
come off the ice, and go to jail.
But that's kind of cool though, because you have this background in horror, you can really capture some really graphic.
Well, yeah, and I feel that people would think, "Oh, I don't want to watch that," but I think it's a dark enough story in a weird sort of way that they would, because I don't think anyone goes, "I only watch horror movies. Fuck it, that's it."
Yeah.
So, I think it's a good movie to transition to other things.
And then, and so do you sort of feel like if people, because you know how, again, with this sort of shorthanding that we have in our culture, and people look at you and they go, "Oh, that's the horror guy." And then they find out, wait, you're not going to do another horror movie? I don't know how to process. What?
I think that's good, though, because I think as soon as everybody knows, they think they know what you're going to do, it's really limiting. That's what I find. And as soon as I feel like I'm part of a group, I no longer want to be associated with it, which sounds really weird, but that's just the mentality I always have.
I don't think that's crazy because I think
always feel that way.
I think
reactionary.
With entertainment, it's a magic trick, I think.
Yeah.
Because once people go, I get the trick, then they're over it.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out how to keep doing tricks.
And there's also that feeling of when someone, or a group of people go like, "You're this now.
Yeah.
This is what you are now." Then like, a lot of people's first reaction is like, "Fuck you. That's not me. That's not what I do."
And it's and I don't mean this as a slag against horror movies, but it's within the business, it's such a limited thing because the studios kind of hate it. Even if the franchises built their studio, they still hate it.
Why is that?
Because they just look at it. They treat it like it's one step above porn. Almost like
that's really interesting.
The agents don't want their actors being in the films. Like so many times I've run into actors, and they were like, "I didn't even know you wanted me for that role. I would have done it. My agent never told me." And these are now people that I wish hadn't been in the movie because they've gone on to do big things. But it just gets really frustrating to have it always treated that way, and even if I don't know, it just drives me crazy. Not that you never do anything because you want respect from people, but you just don't want limitations always clamped down like. And it's the only type. It seems like the genre where they go, "Oh, well, we know what a horror movie is. Here's the rule book. Follow those rules." And if you try to, I don't know. It's a weird. That's
too bad because it's because the horror movies are fun. Like they're just fun to do. You get covered in gunk and appliances, and you get to.
And there's so much you could do, but you could. I mean, I was thinking about it today, and it's like you can see the degeneration of it. Whereas in the '70s, Roman Polanski would do a horror movie, Stanley Kubrick, William Friedkin, like you would have A-level people doing them. And then somehow the 80s became all slasher stuff and blah, 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 until it just became like, here's where we make the real movies, and those guys over there are making them horror movies that we don't care about.
Right.
It's really weird. And now the thing is that the studios, I feel, are just, one, exploit the fans because they know there's this feeling like, oh, they'll show up for anything.
Yeah.
So let's make the movies for nothing.
Right.
So now that they want to make, because of something like Paranormal Activity, which you can make for nothing because there's no real, it's not like, because the nature of the type of film that it is, that they want to apply those rules to every sort of film. So now they just want to make everything for nothing. And if you start making everything for nothing, then you have to make it super fast. And then the quality, you can't sustain the quality. And it just becomes like this diminishing returns.
It's sort of the same thing that happened to animation with Hanna-Barbera, where they were like, oh, we can just make cartoons for no money.
Right.
Because people are stupid and they don't need to see, they don't need to see fluid 24 frames per second. I mean, like that fluid where they would, draw every frame.
Yeah, and you're watching going like, why is nothing moving in that cartoon? Wait, I think his eyes just moved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just two hand motions of Yogi Bear.
Yeah. And it's like that. And then it just becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy where you've clamped down on it so much that the films are becoming just what you thought they were. It's weird.
Shit factory.
Yeah, because the studio loves it. They crank them out. They sort of rape and pillage opening weekend and then throw it away like it's garbage. And I feel bad too sometimes because I'll see actors that are in these movies and they'll be on a TV show and someone will bring it up and they'll just get off the topic. Like even though they have a #1 movie in the country that week, that you can tell they don't want to talk about it.
That's kind of funny.
About anything else.
That's sort of funny. I know that's #1, but I really want to do theater.
That's why, it's weird. That's why I always felt really good that someone like Rainn Wilson was always very open about, House of a Thousand Corpses and talking about it. It was very cool where he could have been like, oh, I'm on The Office. I don't want to mention that,
Well, I think there's a specific kind of person that just sort of does what they want to do.
Yeah.
And that's so much better than, first of all, I don't know how anyone tries to game the system where they try. I think if you try to control something too much, then it just doesn't work. There's nothing wrong with doing like a silly, fun movie.
No, and it's like, when you try to control the system and make sense of it, it doesn't make sense. It's just like,
because every time you think you figured it out, you're wrong. Or at least I feel like that for me. Like, oh, I finally figured out that's not how that works at all.
Yeah, and it keeps changing. And I don't know. Anyway, I just think you just have to be true to yourself. And if you feel like you're sort of burnt out in a certain area, you can't just keep doing it because. To me, that like when people go, "Oh man, you sold out." To me, that would be. I never think that that's a phrase that has any merit until you are just doing something you don't want to do for money.
Yeah,
and you're right. They're just writing these checks, and you're cranking out stuff that you don't believe in anymore. So,
Do you think you'll do comedy next? After?
Well, the few things I have in the pipeline aren't, but I really just like dark material, like with a, like Taxi Driver's not a horror movie, but it is like a dark
Devil's
movie,
Rejects wasn't really a horror movie. It was like
No, and I really wanted Devil's Rejects to be more like a Western, like a sort of a postmodern Western. But at the time, Lionsgate was all hyped on Saw, so they were hell-bent on marketing it like it was Saw. And for that reason, it was kind of like neither here nor there. The people that didn't like that stuff didn't go see it, and the people who would like that stuff thought it was something else, and it became like a weird...
But it's a really cool idea to shift genre for a sequel. Rather than saying, like, I'm going to do this exact same kind of thing. It's another set of kids stumbled across the house. But, like, to take that storyline and follow those characters in a completely different genre is kind of some fucking cool idea.
Because, it's like, it's hard to get money to make a movie. It's really hard to get a movie greenlit. So I thought, like, I didn't want to make House of a Thousand Corpses 2 because that just seems so cheesy and stupid. But I thought, I don't want to turn down this money because if I turn it down... Because I know other people who said, like, oh, I don't want to make a sequel to that. They know... And then, like, no other offers come. And you're like, great, 5 years went by and I can't get any money. So I thought, well, I'll take the money and I'll essentially use the same characters and make a completely different movie. And I didn't see anything wrong with that. Like, who said a sequel has to be exactly part 2 of the same thing,
I thought that's kind of what I liked about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It was
that was a completely different thing.
Yeah, it was a completely different. It's like not even. It really isn't even a Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it's so like ridiculous and neat to see other things.
Yeah, I mean, it went from like this really gritty thing to almost like a
cartoon.
Comedy,
yeah, exactly. Like the further adventures of Leatherface and the gang.
They're on the road and making children.
Yeah, dog will hunt.
So are you about to tour now?
Well, yeah, the tour starts in June. So what is it now? April? Yeah. April. So I get just. There's a bunch of stuff leading. It's mostly music stuff. Well, I mean, no, it's not really. I mean, I'm still tweaking scripts and doing that. So I'm always writing and getting that stuff together and trying to set up the films because just the lead time is so long. But the main public sort of things I'll be doing is all music related.
Yeah, and then but your tours are down at this point. You got that down pretty well.
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, going on tour is almost like going on vacation. I mean, the build up is a lot of work sometimes, just building the stage and getting your ideas together. But like once it's rolling, it is like.
Is this going to be a big stage show? Or?
Yeah, this is like a monstrously big, over-the-top, money-losing production.
Do you have
You described as that to your management.
He's standing right back there.
I'd like to lose a lot of money. Here's how.
Someone give Andy his Tums. He's
Bigger
not feeling
sets.
good after that last statement.
You bringing out an opener?
Well, it's on the Mayhem tour, so there's like 1,000 other bands on the tour. But what's good is, we get the headline, so.
Oh, that's cool.
Lots of people every night.
Who are the other bands on the Mayhem tour?
Let's see who else. Well, on the main stage, it'll be us, Five Finger Death Punch, Mastodon, and somebody else that I just forgot. And then there's other bands, Machine Head, all these different bands. There's like a zillion bands.
Yeah, it seems like metal shows have the biggest lineups in their in those festivals.
I mean, it's funny because what I just said about horror movies is almost the same thing with metal. It's a huge thing with a giant loyal fan base that gets basically treated like crap by the industry. Yeah. But I guess but at the same time, I don't really care because in a weird way, that's the nature of it. Like you can't sort of be going, this weird outsider music, but love us within the industry.
Right.
So you kind of
need it.
It's kind of is what it is, but sometimes it's weird.
Underdog.
And maybe it's the same thing with horror movies. I mean, you're making this sort of like crazy, weird stuff. So of course, a lot of people are repulsed by it, but it's not really that bothers me. It's just like like I said before, the cramping down on the budgets and trying to make everything cheap to just crank out profit, and then that genre gets exploited and killed.
It's too bad because horror movies really are super cheap to make because you don't have to. Because I guess the studios go, well, what we lack in story we can make up for with like a startling scene or like someone exploding or like a fucking their eye getting ripped out.
Yeah, I mean they just figure like if we make and part of the trend that's I don't know, maybe this has been a trend for a long time, but I find it kind of disturbing is filming jazzy stuff for the trailer that's not even in the film.
Does that happen?
Well, they do that all the time. I mean, I haven't done that, but I know they do that on a lot of movies, so it's kind of like you see all this cool stuff in the trailer, like, oh man, then you go see the movie, like, where was all the stuff with the thing that I've been seeing on TV every 5 seconds?
Or you see the 4 best scenes that were in the movie.
That's every comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Here comes comes the scene where he shits himself. Oh, it's not funny anymore. I said it 100 times on the commercial.
I mean, I really think.
Well, you didn't see the lead up where someone came in his mouth and then.
Yeah.
In the gag.
You made me
Oh,
do
hell
my
no.
nail.
Oh, hell no.
You made me do my nail again.
I want to make, and I don't want to direct. I never wanted to direct, but I want to produce. I want to make like comedy sci-fi. I think there's such a space for like.
Just bring back Quark.
I wanted to make like I look at a movie like District 9. And I'm like, God damn it! If that movie is a fucking great story, the effects were great, the movie is inexpensive,
And it's hilarious.
if it had
There
been
is a lot of funny stuff in the beginning. There's a lot of funny
But
stuff.
I'm saying, before you stomped on what I was saying, I was saying that if it had been also a comedy, it would have been one of the fucking greatest movies of all time. Because you have, when your story is amazing and your effects are amazing, if the comedy is amazing as well, then like that extra layer, then it just fucking blows people's minds. Like so many movies do one or the other. It's like, oh, it was really funny, but the effects were shitty, or the effects were amazing, but like not that great of a movie. Like like fucking Galaxy Quest to me is a perfect movie.
That's a great
That's
movie.
a rarity.
Yeah, that's real rare.
I mean, what other science fiction comedy stuff is there really?
Besides like Ghostbusters or Back to the Future,
Yeah, I mean,
or
It's like Sky High is
Anything
kind
within
of
the last decade.
superhero comedy. I mean,
yeah, it's not really sci-fi.
I mean, it's pretty rare.
Meteor Man.
Bingo.
Attack the Block.
yeah, Attack the Block. Yeah, Attack the Block. It's a great
Moses
example.
brother.
Neighborhood
Wasn't there some
Watch.
Eddie Murphy one? Wasn't there some Eddie Murphy?
Oh, Pluto Nash.
Pluto Nash. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, yeah.
But even that
Or
was
Meet
low.
Dave.
No,
Dave.
let's
Is
that a
not.
comedy?
Let's not meet Dave.
Okay.
Yeah, that was written by Bill Corbett.
I know, Bill, but I imagine that that whatever they ended up making was not
Yeah, yeah.
not
It was just
necessarily
Herman's
what-
Head, the movie, right?
I don't know. I never saw Meet Dave.
That's funny. Yeah. I think it's kind of like they don't care about having good looking films for comedies. It seems like that's rarely an issue.
Yeah, even down to the design of posters and art for movies, where it's always like white background,
Yeah.
red letters.
Yeah, but you look at Back to the Future, you look at Ghostbusters, all the like. That's when there were really incredible practical effects. And I remember seeing specials afterwards, like television specials about these are how the effects for Back to the Future. These are effects from Ghostbusters, and they really spent time on it and made it look amazing. And it just fucking elevated the movie so much.
Yeah.
Like watching all the effects for Ghostbusters and how they created Slimer and how they did all the the wide shots of the city when all the ghosts get released after he shuts off the grid.
Yeah.
That was a fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's funny. It's almost like they figured, like, well, we don't have to make comedies good and expensive, so why bother?
Yeah. But didn't you say This Is the End has some pretty good effects for a comedy?
Yeah, This Is the End has good, like when you see the effects of the sort of, without giving it away, but with
Something.
they were fucking fun. They were really cool. Like the effects were really cool. They did a really good job. That was the Seth Rogen movie where they basically all these actors play themselves and they get caught in the apocalypse.
Yeah. Supposedly that's a good looking movie.
It is a good looking movie, and like the effects.
My friend Brandon, who shot Lords of Salem, that was the next movie he did after we were done.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So he was saying that they were trying to make an attempt to make it look really good, because that's one of the things I thought that I liked about The Hangover.
Yeah.
It's a really good
Gorgeous looking movie.
Like if you shut off the sound before it got visually weird, you go, I don't know, I would know that it was a comedy. It was shot beautifully, like it was a
especially the opening credits.
Usually they don't. There's nothing more annoying than you watch a comedy. You go like, this looks like but TV shows are shot better than this.
Yeah.
Why does this
Not
comedy
everyone
look
has
so-
that brain though. Like Todd Phillips just had the thing.
Yeah.
Where it's he's funny, but he also knows how to.
Yeah. It's weird,
but I think Adam McKay tries stuff like. I mean, in the other guys, there's some pretty cool shots. Like there's, instead of doing a montage when they go out drinking to like celebrate or something, instead of just doing a stupid montage, it was basically a music video where it's like like all still shots, but like flowing, like a camera flowing through different still shots of the night.
I think it's cool.
I think it's important to the difference between making what is like a television comedy movie and a film that's meant to be seen
Comedy
on
film.
a giant screen and be shot well and lit well, and not just like, it's basically just a funny radio play that we haphazardly threw
'cause
some
sometimes
cameras
you see
in
a
front of.
comedy and it's almost like insulting. I'll watch it, go like, God, it looks like they literally on set on set going, who gives a shit if this looks like crap?
Yeah.
Like, it makes me angry, like, because it wasn't a cheap film. It's a $70 million comedy, and it looks like garbage.
That's so funny to me. The words $70 million comedy.
Yeah. It's probably all.
I mean, that is like, and that's not even like a super, super high budget film anymore.
No. I mean, it's nuts.
Well, they had to get Anchorman 2 under 50 for Paramount to say okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That'll make its money back.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time.
I'm excited about that
Me
one.
too.
But you figure, like, Anchorman 2, if they spend 50, they'll probably spend another 50 in marketing. So
Yeah.
suddenly
Yeah.
Anchorman 2 cost $100 million. Jesus Christ. So at the end of the day...
Yeah.
Do you want to be in the mega budget film game?
No, I mean, there's been a couple things. I mean, I won't say what they are, but a couple things that have come my way about, are you interested in going after this because this script came in and stuff? And I was like, no, because I just fear that the way I think and the things I want to do, it's such a by committee pleasing everybody sort of. They're not looking for your personal vision to come their way.
Right.
I
It's
think
a gun for hire, pretty much.
Yeah, I think they might think it's a good idea, but when you get in there, they would think it was a horrible.
Do you deal
idea.
with that on commercials, though? On a smaller scale, I imagine?
Well, commercials are kind of like that, but I've only done 4 commercials. My experience was they brought me in because they wanted it to seem like I did it. And also, I'm not personally invested in a commercial. Like, I feel like, I want it to be really cool and as best as I can, but I'm not emotionally attached to it. So if
Yeah.
they edit it away I didn't like, I'm like, who cares?
yeah. It's not like at the end of
Tell
it.
anyone I did it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was like, it's
also
not going to
over
say it at
in
the
30
end.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the painless 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, commercials are pretty good business.
Yeah, I mean, everybody does them. It's just they never talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make a lot of money doing that without even anyone knowing that you're doing it.
Yeah, I have lots of friends who, because obviously, a lot of directors, they rely on their commercial money so that they can then go make then go basically lose money making movies
Exactly.
that they want to make.
So funny.
So when does the tour starts in June? Do you go through the end of the year, or
Tour starts in June. That'll go through the whole summer in the U.S., and then we'll bounce over to South America, and then I'm not sure what's after that. I mean,
just a quick
go all
bounce over
through
to
Europe.
South America?
Then we'll go through Europe. The tours now will just go on for years. Literally.
Is that exhausting to even think about?
It's exhausting to think about if I think ahead. Like, if I just think of, like, okay, another half hour left in the podcast, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
But if I start thinking about, like, so in 2015, when we fly into Czechoslovakia, because sometimes it's laid out like that, that's when I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
If I think too far ahead.
So
I get that phone call. Well, 2014's pretty much shot. That's booked. That's when I start getting panicky. Oh, that wasn't supposed to be you, by the way.
that was just another guy who was booking a show, Andy.
Raspy voice who calls me about booking stuff.
And Sherry goes with you, right?
Yeah, well, she used to go everywhere all the time, but she burnt out on touring a little bit, so she goes in and out.
It's hard. I mean, the traveling does wear on you a bit.
Well, and also, if you're not playing, there's a lot of boring downtime. For someone, I can handle sitting around doing nothing all day because I know there's a show coming, but to sit around all day to watch someone else's show
Right.
for the 1000th time.
Yeah. She's pretty familiar with your work at this point.
She's pretty over it, I'm sure.
How do you guys do? Is it like texting or phone calls or Skyping? Like, how do you stay in touch when you're?
Well, out of the country, usually Skyping because it's cheaper. In the country, just phone calls.
Yeah.
But, it's easy.
Well, also, she has a nice house that's probably pretty comfortable to be in. Like, I don't know if I want to go sleep on a bus.
Well,
I have to look after the
Stinky
Brontosaurus
boys.
statue.
That's true. But she never wants to leave Connecticut. She loves it so much.
It is nice. We went jet skiing.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a good old time?
When I think Connecticut, I think jet skiing.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, there's a
And
lake.
lawn darts.
There was a lake. You drove the jet ski.
And we
and
played tennis.
it was a very yuppie weekend.
Yes.
That sounds
You
fucking
nerd.
great.
It was like the Great Gatsby for nerds.
Yeah. And then at night.
Look out, Newegg. Here comes Chris Hardwick.
That's right.
Town of Great Gatsby.
What? So Lords of Salem. I saw like a little clip of it, but I don't know. Is it? What? I don't. They sent it to me this morning. I got it this morning.
did?
I wasn't able to watch it before now.
Can you watch it really quick? Right now?
Wait.
We'll just wait before we stop the podcast.
Put it on now. We'll
Well, if
just,
you put your car in
I'd
park,
actually like you to read it
your
right
car
now.
can play it.
That's what's been interesting is that lately people are coming on the podcast and then studios or publicists are insistent like you have to watch this movie before this person comes on. I'm like, yeah. Well, we're not going to talk about the movie the entire time, and the audience hasn't seen the movie, so maybe if I'm inquisitive about the movie...
Can I watch 5 minutes of it? We'll just talk about it for 5 minutes.
But now I have the movie, so I will watch it.
Send me like a cool cut down commercial type thing of the movie. I'll watch that.
Notes.
Can you send me like a highlight reel?
Yeah.
No, but I actually do want to see the movie, but I don't know exactly what it's about.
Pretended that you watched it and see how far you could get before.
Yeah.
Really
So
I watched it. My favorite part was the in the middle.
There's that guy
when the
with
Lords
the-
get to Salem.
When the Lords
the ones
get to
Salem.
come in.
Yeah.
The Lords get to Salem.
Oh man,
That was great.
dude. And then they and then they're skating in that pool, and then they go over the lip of the pool.
Yeah.
Oh man, and they say it's going to be summer vacation for the rest of our lives.
You're thinking of
Fucking
Lords of Dog
rocks.
Salem.
Oh, sorry, Lords of Dog Salem. That's right.
Yeah,
that's
where a group of skateboarding witches comes in
Yeah.
and forms a skate pact.
And everyone
with the
thinks they're
devil.
cheating because they could fly, and that's how they do
Right, they
those
perfect
righteous
those
ollies.
Yeah.
with the ball bearings.
Their skateboards are just made from broom handle wood.
Yeah. Keep on
was
pushing,
awesome.
man. Yeah.
Come on, Stacy.
So now the boring question you've been getting all day is what
What scares you?
if I were to hug you for 1 minute too long?
What scares you
Sorry.
about the plot of Lords of Salem?
Nerds. What, was there actually a question?
No.
I
Sorry.
didn't think so.
I've never even actually seen a horror movie. I don't care for them.
They're all the same. They're low budget. No one
Yeah.
cares.
You've seen horror movie bloopers.
Yeah, I've seen horror movie
They have
bloopers.
bloopers.
And Sci-Fi, is that what it's I've never actually heard it
Yeah,
said.
No,
Sci-fi.
it's now spelled SYFY.
CP.
What does that spell?
CP.
I'm assuming Lords of Salem is a witch movie. A devil
Maybe.
movie?
It could be like a witch devil thing going
Is it a
on
witch devil thing?
there. Yes.
But which devil is it?
No.
Well, you see, goodies.
Just let that one sit.
Here's what happened. Tituba teaches all the
step back and
kids about witchcraft, and then Goody Proctor gets involved.
Goody pride.
Lords of Salem.
Good wife.
Comes in, she's waving the little
Yeah.
doll, and a goat jumped over the barn, and people run wild.
All I know, what I do know about Lords of Salem is that I remember you told me that you were going to make it like a year ago.
There you
You're like,
go.
my next movie is Lords of Salem.
And I did.
Good.
Need we say more?
He follows through on his promises. That's all I'm saying. Rob's a stand-up
I'm
guy.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
Is Sherry a Lord of Salem?
Perhaps.
God damn it.
Damn it.
These lords, are they like...
Are they always in Salem?
Are they? Is it always? Is that just a name, or is Lords of Salem the name of
Is it a team?
a
Are there
team?
jackets involved of any sort? Embroidery?
Wait, it's like S.H.I.E.L.D., okay? It's like S.H.I.E.L.D.
Are the Lords
Avengers get
an
together.
animal, a vegetable, or a mineral? How many lords?
Would I know you from your work in television? No.
Have you played with the Akinator app at all?
Akinator? Is that a Kathy app?
No. It's
Why did I think the same thing and then you said it? I have been around you too long.
Yeah, that must be it.
oh look, guys! I got another pint of ice cream.
I got a new ack.
no, Akinator is this.
There's an ack for that.
This Akinator is this weird genie app where you think of a person and it starts asking you like a series of questions and it nails with incredible accuracy.
Oh, it's like 20 questions.
Oh, they're
Star
like,
Trek.
yeah, the little thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try it.
Well, I can't. It's tough to get a signal in this fucking
Well,
studio.
kids,
Tough to
download
get
it.
a signal
Let's
around
take our
these
word for
parts.
Bro, tough to get a fucking signal. All right, let's see. I'll see if I can glom onto the studio Wi-Fi.
How hard you gonna glom?
I'm gonna glom pretty hard. All right, so let's think of. Well, let's see if it finds Rob. Okay, play. Here we go. Think about a fictional or real character. I will try to guess who it is. Let's go. Here we go.
Hey.
Has your character really existed?
Yes.
Is your character a girl?
No.
Is your character more than 40 years old? Yes.
It's Rob Zombie. Wow.
Wow, Jesus.
Is your character dead?
No.
Is your character an actor? No. Is your character linked with sports? Not until the Philadelphia Flyers movie comes
count.
out. Oh, shit. Damn it.
What'd you fuck up?
I said yes by accident.
All right, let's think of someone else now.
Oh, wait, I can go back.
Just so we can fix this. We
I
can
can go
fucking
back.
fix this, Chris. This
Okay, good. Thank
is
God.
gonna be good.
Oh, by the way, Akinator. Is your character linked with sports? I said yes. The next question was, is your character black?
Oh, Akinator.
Jesus Christ.
Blackinator.
Come on, Blackinator.
Racist.
Okay. Is your character linked with sports? No. Is your character a singer, or does he work with a singer, as in a songwriter, producer, musician? Yes. Is your character British? No. Is your character playing a rock band? Yes. Is your character the lead singer of a band? Yes. Is your character more than 50 years old? No.
No.
No. Is your character linked with metal music? Yes. Is your character a guitar player? No. No. Does your character have long hair? Yes. Does your character wear makeup?
Yeah.
I'll just say don't know.
Stage. I mean, I don't know.
I'll say don't
have-
know. I'll say don't know.
Okay.
Is your character linked with roses?
Well, that's kind of that's a bit
It is not Axel.
ham-fisted.
It is not Axel.
Does your character often wear a kilt? Oh, Akinator. Does your character have a beard?
Has your character
Yes.
gained a lot of weight
Is your
recently?
character
Oh,
talking
shit,
to
guys.
Flash?
Question number 20. Is your character linked with the horror genre? Yes. Is your character a film director? Yes.
Oh shit!
You guys, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Rob Zombie!
No.
You got it.
I'm going to play you the trailer to the movie. See? Scary.
Are those the Lords?
No.
This tells you nothing.
Are you the new tenant?
So we know there's a new
Yes.
It's the new tenant of Lord.
Yes, I'm a Lord of Salem. Wait.
now. Scary music.
I just saw the tenant like 10 minutes ago standing in the doorway.
See? Scary doorway shot.
Okay.
But there is no person.
Oh.
There's a bassy horror.
No person at number 5.
Okay.
Well, it's been empty for years.
Scary shot. Scary shot.
Oh Jesus, you are sick of horror movies.
Sick of this trailer anyway. Flashy, cutting, tight face.
Rob Zombie describes Lords of Salem trailer.
Well, it is radio. Ish.
Scream?
Podcast.
You okay?
Catchphrase that doesn't really apply.
What's happening visually?
There's a bright light.
Okay, Satan, come
Is
to
your
us.
character a devil? Does your character ride a goat? Yes.
Is it Lords of Salem? Is there a violin quartet?
Yes.
The Lords of Salem, I got it. The Lords of Salem are a chamber orchestra.
There's a goat, see?
Oh yeah, okay, I got it.
All right, yeah.
Hey, y'all got a goat in your movie.
Fascinating. Well, everyone stop listening to this podcast. They're playing with their
You're a
phones.
Nerdist podcast. I didn't like it when you guys just started hanging out.
Yeah, forgot there were microphones.
You know, I didn't think the spikes on the back of your phone case would be that comfortable, but they really do provide like a nice gripping
There you go.
surface.
And when you can't find it in your black duffel bag.
Yeah. Okay. So Lords of Salem is about a satanic chamber orchestra who plays for audiences of goats.
Scary shot, scary shot.
Scary shot, scary
Loud
shot.
noise.
Font.
Sherry moved in
Catchphrase.
next door. She's knocking.
Catchphrase.
Can you keep the music down? I have to work in the
Flash.
morning.
Flash cut.
Yeah.
God damn, we just nailed it.
I've heard of a
Done.
comedy of errors, but it's kind of a horror of errors. It's like, oh, I moved in and that person didn't move in.
Boy.
Is it?
Way
I
to-
take back everything I said about people not taking it seriously.
Way to break Rob's spirit, Chris.
That was
to prove
broken
me
ages
right.
ago. Are you done with press now? Is this the last thing you have to do? Or are you going back home tomorrow?
I'm going back home to do more press.
Oh, you are really?
East Coast press.
Do you have more patience now or less patience now? Do you think? Like as you
Probably
do,
less patience, but I can fake that I have more patience now.
Are you faking it now?
I don't know.
Oh
Am I?
shit!
Oh, he's very good. He's very good.
Ask
he's
the
very good.
Akinator.
Ooh, he's good.
It can't answer those types of questions, Jonah.
We're gonna have to get the update.
Yeah. Does he have more or less patience now? Don't know. Akinator.
I just find that the schedule makes me less tolerant of dumb things sometimes. Like if there's a real crisis, I can be like, okay, you know, I can handle this, but just my patience for like dumb things.
Well, it's amazing how sometimes, I'm not going to say what the dumb thing was, but sometimes dumb things can spiral so out of control that you're just like, really? This is what it's come down to? But it's all good.
Yeah.
I guess the things we're complaining about are pretty nothing.
Yeah. No. They are. It's how do you keep perspective? How do you is it because you have this peaceful home environment?
Well, that helped give me some perspective. Well, not perspective, but a nice break here and there because I felt like for instance, when we made the record, you know, we always would record the record here in Los Angeles, and that would always be in a studio where everybody rolls in. The first thing they do is throw down their bag and tell you their long-winded 20-minute story about why they were stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. And everybody's like tired and grumpy, and then the phone rang. It just was nonstop, and that's the environment you try to like make a record in every day, blah, blah, blah. But this time, to be out in the middle of the woods in a barn doing it, everybody just sort of rolls in. Half the time, you know, no one ever had shoes on. Everyone, you know, half the guys are still in their pajamas from the night before. No one's, and it's just, you're just all focused, 100% creative stuff all day long. No one calls. No one knew the number. No one knew where we were. No one ever bothered us.
Did it make it fun again?
Yeah, it made it really fun, and it gave you time to think just about what you should be thinking about, which is making a really good record. Whereas the other way, you get used to like multitasking. Wait, I'm going to take this one call, then I'm going to cut some vocals. Okay, going to return this one text, and then we're going to talk about the guitar part. Blah blah blah. Whereas it's just like 100% the thing you should be worrying about.
Well,
it made such a difference, and we edited the movie that way too, and it was the same thing. It made it so different.
Well, you said when you first moved to Connecticut, and you'd go away and you'd come back, and you'd go, I never realized what a soul crushing pace Los Angeles had until I went away, and then you said you'd come back and just feel completely overwhelmed. It's like meetings with dudes. Hey,
and I would never feel overwhelmed when I was here, or at least I didn't think I did. But the funny thing was, my biggest fear of moving was like, oh, I'm never going to get anything done. But I've done more by not being here than I ever did being here, which is weird. Written more scripts, gotten more things done, like made a record and a movie at the same time, got more stuff, and people that I would see people more not living here than I did. It was weird. Because, you know, it's like if you're here and everybody's here all the time, you think, I'll see him next week, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. It's just weird. I don't know.
Do you still get up at like 6 in the morning and write for an hour or two?
I always get up super early, yeah, and do that.
It's very Ben Franklin of you.
Yes, I know. Thomas Jefferson, he had his clock right on his bed. You ever go to, what is it, Mount Vernon?
Yeah, Mount Vernon.
No, Monticello.
Washington.
George Washington was Mount Vernon.
Is what right?
Yeah.
They show his bedroom where he has the bed here and the clock, and it was set to wake him up every 15 minutes or somewhere. It's all those weird things he does.
Someone posted on Reddit the other day. It was Benjamin Franklin's day, his calendar, and there was a line of numbers representing the hours in the day, and it would say like 5 a.m. wake up, ask myself what good can I do today. then he would work.
10:30 wake up from sleeping in again. Whoops. Feel bad about myself. Eat too much. Take another nap.
Why didn't I do anything good today?
Oh, Benny boy, you're at it again.
His days, according to this calendar, his days were like 17 hours long. He would get up at 5, reflect, work for like 3 hours, 4 hours, eat, work for another 5 or 6 hours.
Check email.
Yeah, fuck a French whore.
Concoct excuse why I'm late.
Have a meal, then have some sort of an evening reflection period. Go to bed at midnight and then get up at 5 the next morning. And it's like
we only needed 5 hours of sleep back then.
Yeah, he wasn't that tired.
Yeah. You're fine. You're gonna die at 30 anyway.
It's true.
He didn't. He lived.
He did well. Maybe you only need 5 hours of sleep.
He did well.
Do you only need 5 hours of sleep?
Yeah. I don't sleep much, yeah. Maybe that helps. No, I forget. Oh, what was I going to say? No, but it's funny, too. I think part of it is, whatever. I'm not trying to sell the virtues of living someplace like that, but it's because little things don't take much time. Like, I'm going to run to the post office. That's 5 minutes.
Yep.
Here, I'm going to run to the post office. That's pretty much the day.
You better take supplies.
That's the feeling I get with anything.
Killed the day
Which
for me.
post office? Where's the parking?
Yeah.
Do I take La
stuff
Cienega?
Like
Yeah, it's like it's taking me an hour to get there. Probably an hour
to
there.
Whole Foods. I'll be driving around that parking lot for 45 minutes before I get a spot. And, it's just funny how that stuff leaves more time for the other stuff that I actually do want to do.
Do you think you needed that pace that you had when you were younger and starting out?
I think you need it. I think you need to be here to be part of it so that you can break into it. I don't think you could do it outside of it, but once you kind of feel that you've gotten in, I think you need to back off so you can do better stuff. If that makes any sense.
It does. It's like how Zach Exec Galifianakis bought that farm in
South Carolina,
In South Carolina, North Carolina,
North Carolina.
And he wasn't as big as he wasn't as successful as he is now. So it was kind of I think a lot of his friends were like, "What are you really?"
Yeah, wanted a place to go.
And he's like, "No, I just want to." And then it turns out, oh yeah, because you need to get out of the weird plastic culture sometimes.
Well, it's weird too because it's like it feels like there's more hours in the day there because I had a screening room in my house in California, which I would use once a year at best. But now the one in Connecticut, it's like we use it like every single day, and it's not just like there's just seems like I did a ton of work. I can do this stuff every day, and still it's like, oh, it's 7:30.
Yeah.
Now what?
Watch a movie.
Chase a goat around the yard.
With a Tom Baker doll.
Yeah.
6 to 7, chase goat.
Yeah, that was gonna say that was on
Tom
Ben
Baker
Franklin's
show.
list.
8 to 9, build dinosaur park.
Reflect on, did I do any good today? Probably not.
I
Well,
think
ask the Brontosaurus in the yard. He thinks so.
Time
We
to
have
plant
had-
a Brontosaurus garden.
we've had a lovely fake nerd time here.
Can we drop the axe now?
Did we fake it?
Oh my god.
Oh God, let me take these glasses off.
Dude.
Oh my god, you look so much better, bro.
I know,
Fridays,
believe me.
I'm so in.
Oh, fuck yeah. Jack Daniels sauce. Let's put it on everything.
Guys,
Seriously.
but afterwards we're going to Dames and Games, right?
Wings and sports, bro.
Yep. You heard about Dames and Games?
I don't know what that is.
It's
Your abs are looking
You
so
guys know they're
ripped
frying
now.
macaroni and cheese now? I mean, it's crazy.
that's still a very nerdy thing.
No.
Was that your,
That was my
was
not
that your
nerdy
nerd
thing.
interjection or your tough sports guy
I
interjection?
just don't know.
Rob too. Rob actually.
Jack Daniels sauce on it. That's still me.
Nice recovery.
The band that Rob really wants to do is a tight 4-part harmony barbershop quartet. It's not metal at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hope someday that you get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope someday you get to make that record for people until they're ready. Maybe you can make it for the Philadelphia Flyers movie.
Yeah.
Living dead girl.
Exactly.
Dig through the ditches.
That's almost like that thing you did that one time.
Oh,
Remember the
yeah.
Pizza parlor.
Yes. Oh my God, that's right.
funny.
For Rob's birthday one year, I couldn't. This was oh my God. This was like
That was
8 years ago or something. Furman and I couldn't. I was performing somewhere, so I couldn't go to Rob's birthday party. So Furman and I recorded an acoustic version of Dragula in the pizza parlor that
nice.
Mike lived above.
That's great.
And customers were coming in, and we just did a very I don't know. It was just an unplugged version of like a coffee house version of Dragula,
It's pretty funny.
That's great.
and couldn't really explain to the other people who were dining in there why we were saying it.
Don't worry about it, guys.
Kind of the same thing happened at the party. Couldn't really explain. Like, we were all watching this, and who are
Oh,
those
you
guys
showed
over
it.
here?
Yeah, you showed it at the party.
Why is the singled out guy doing that?
Dig through the ditches and burn
They
through
really
the
turn around a
windows,
pizza parlor?
slam in the back of a Dracula. That was fun times. Do you still have that video?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Can we have it for the YouTube channel?
Please.
That's gonna be mine. Yeah.
Already
Tom
content.
Baker hosts. Hard and firm
Perfect.
from the
Done
pizza parlor.
and done.
Welcome to Coffee House Covers. I'm Tom Baker.
Yeah. I have several of those figures, so I can keep it fresh.
Well, I gotta come. I want to come see you and hang out. I'll be in New York a lot this year, so
Me too.
in the next month, so I'll pop down.
Where are you performing there? You're there soon, right?
Yeah, I'll be at Caroline's, and then I'm just going back and forth a lot for this and that.
Doesn't saying I'll be at Caroline's just sound so funny?
It is.
It's
Yeah.
like every comedian for the last 1,000 years. I'll be at Caroline.
Well, you know, like there
Yeah,
are.
so it's like you could just hear it since the fucking 80s.
There
on
are a
the TV
lot
show.
of places to do comedy in New York, but Caroline's is just a staple. Like it's just
Yeah.
the place that's, you know, it's.
Comedy clubs don't seem to go out of business, do they?
Oh, they do. Yeah, they do. Like
Do they? Because it always seems like the same, I guess, in New York, LA.
no, the comedy business has been kind of struggling for a while because especially when the economy went bad, the first thing that people stopped doing was going to see comedy. Yeah, they did.
We're broke. Let's go see some asshole make us laugh.
Yeah,
Well-
and then let's buy 2 drinks.
Yeah, comedy clubs are
Watching a
expensive.
guy work out his new material.
They are really
Yeah.
expensive.
It was worth it.
Not that you shouldn't come out and watch someone work out their new material, right, guys? Right, guys?
Once you get your Golden Globe,
You're
I'll
part of the
come out and see
process.
your show.
Yeah.
You know, Rob, when you're doing this this big metal festival, you're
I'm not on
probably
stage with my notes and a little stool.
sure
and
you
glass.
are. You're
Give it to the
workshopping.
kids.
So this is something I've been.
Workshop.
Yeah.
You're gonna work, yeah, I'm going to workshop.
You'll
Yeah.
do like a guitar riff and be like, "Oh, here I'm coming for you." So that's just something I thought was cool. I don't know how it ends yet, but I'm
And
sort
it's
of
a little
working on
something,
it.
I forget.
Just trails off. Yeah.
We'll figure it out with the
Yeah,
audience.
just-
Well, thanks for doing the podcast today. I know you've
When are
done
we gonna start recording it for real?
We're not.
Oh.
I don't know how any of these gadget works. I'm a fake nerd. I just feel like I don't know this button to do this gadgety do goes here. Somebody help me.
Yeah, scoop up
Chris,
to
you're just looking at your
Welcome to
keys.
Scat
You
Tech.
guys, the Kardashians is on soon.
Wah.
Oh, I'm gonna go buy some shoes online.
Nothing wrong with that. Zappos.
I'm sorry.
Zappos.
No, you're right.
Come like the next day.
Really terrific.
I can just go buy shoes right now. I know, but they deliver them to your house.
Yeah.
I don't even have to move.
Ever.
I have to go in front of people and just fake like I know how to tie my shoelaces.
You can get a bed sore while waiting for new shoes.
Don't need to be out in life.
Yeah.
All right.
All
Enjoy
right.
your burrito, everyone. And we're done.
Now leaving Nerdist.com. Enjoy your burrito.
This episode of the Nerdist Podcast is brought to you by Stamps.com. Go to Stamps.com, click on the radio microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Nerdist for a $110 bonus offer, including a digital scale and $55 of free postage. That's Stamps.com. Enter the promo code Nerdist.